My guest today is John Richards from OneNation Coffee. We're going to hear about his journey and this incredible company that he helped start. But before that, we've got a deal for his product. They're making really cool coffee. Their slogan, "We've got your 6 a.m." It seems to fit here with what we're doing at Pick Up the 6. The discount code to use at checkout is PUT6. You're going to save 10%. Go check out the guys, OneNationCoffee.com. Save 10% just like that. John's hooking you guys up with a discount code PUT6 at checkout. And go scoop up some of that because they've got your 6 a.m. We've got their 6, and we're going to have a great conversation. Let's meet John on this episode of Pick Up the 6 podcast. John, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, my friend. How are you doing?
I am doing well. It is a great day. Any day I get a chance to chat with somebody with a pedigree like yours, running an awesome company like you do. And oh, by the way, comes to us from our great friend of the show here, Lowell Coppert, and said, you got to have John on. You got to talk to John Richards.
Dude,
so you got
it.
Check.
Man.
Roger that, Coppert. We're on it.
Yep. That guy's the man.
He is the man. He is the man. It's, we've just grown to have such a great appreciation for him and obviously just the network of folks that he knows through his incredible career as a Green Beret, doing awesome stuff on behalf of the United States of America. Guys, some awesome news that we're working to get finalized and some more details. If you remember, Lowell, a huge part of trying to get this Vietnam Veterans Memorial moved in Aiken, South Carolina, to give it the respect it deserves. We've been hearing some good news about where they're at with that and what's to come and the potential of moving that in a rededication ceremony. So we'll keep you updated as we learn about that. John, I know that's an area that's close for you, pretty much in your backyard.
Yes. Yeah. Aiken's not too far. We're out of Charleston, South Carolina area, specifically Somerville, if you know the area. But yeah, Aiken isn't too far away. Lowell invited us out last September 9/11, and we went out there. I sold coffee. It was I couldn't make it. I had COVID, so I couldn't. So my crew rolled out there, and they had a blast. And Lowell and I were supposed to be like emceeing together and doing everything. And I literally got COVID like a couple of days before, but my crew rolled out there and they had a great time.
Nice.
That's an awesome town. Aiken is.
It is, man. It's like a military veteran hotbed. 20,000 veterans in this town of Aiken, South Carolina.
I just recently moved back. I'm still active duty, military, and I just got stationed back here in the Charleston, South Carolina area, and just South Carolina in general is just, man, like military, just good old people. So I love being back in the South, especially in South Carolina. I know you're in Texas, right?
Yeah, I'm in North Carolina. I'm right north of you, man. I'm just right outside of Raleigh,
North Carolina.
Yeah.
And so your phone number is Texas, though.
It is,
right?
And I got those Longhorns over my shoulders. So you got to remember that.
You fooled me. But the Carolinas are great, though.
They sure are, dude. I was down your way just last week. Schedule is nutty. But was down on the USS Yorktown all day on Friday during Medal of Honor Day. And guys, if you're listening, we just released 5 episodes that we recorded live on the USS Yorktown, 4 of those with living Medal of Honor recipients. And I drove up on that massive ship and just, man, incredible. Just an incredible sight. It's the first time I've ever been on it. It's an incredible sight.
Yeah.
What a beautiful area.
Yeah, they just did. My wife was down there yesterday representing the foundation. They had a little thing for the Vietnam Memorial down there yesterday, and she was out there. I couldn't make it. I had to take care of some other things, but she went down there and she just heard the stories and just talked to the people. And she's always just like, I know I'm married to you and all your buddies, but that's another generation. It's just some great stories, and just the character of past generations is just amazing.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate to have a few conversations with living recipients of that Medal of Honor, one of which is Melvin Morris, whose actions on the battlefield in Vietnam. Go back and find that episode, guys, if you haven't listened to it before. Got to meet Melvin in person. He was there on Friday. And then Colonel Joe Marm, shot through the jaw, stayed in the fight, receives the Medal of Honor in Vietnam. You're right. They were a different breed. They don't make them like those guys anymore. And yesterday, the 29th of March, is Vietnam Veterans War Memorial Day. They didn't get the same applause and welcomes when they got home like the war on terror generation has. And I think we've got to lean in and pay it forward for those guys. I know every time I see them, I try to say something just because they didn't get it when they got back.
And it was interesting because my wife commented on it. Like, once again, I wasn't there, so I'll credit to my wife. And she was commenting on that. And she said, one of the guys that spoke said that, like, you know, when we got home, no one said thank you. And we don't care. All we wanted was welcome home. And that's all we need, because that was our job.
Mm-hmm.
We went there and did it, and we came home. So same thing. It's just like, welcome home, guys. You know, just, you know, and that attitude is just amazing, you know, and it is. It's like, yeah, you kind of blush. Like, when people thank you, you're like, I chose to do this. Thank the guys that didn't come home. That's how I was like, I appreciate it. Of course, you want to take it on board. Thank you for that. But there's people still over there. There's still people doing the deed. And like our brothers and sisters that didn't come home, those are the people that should get any praise or anything like that, you know, because, you know, I'm blessed to be alive. I got my family. I got, like, all I care about is the laurels from my kids, you know, and my wife. Keeping her happy is really.
Yeah. Well said, man. It's an amazing place down there. Hey, let's get to know you a little bit. Talk to me about your path to the Navy. How'd that all work out for you as a kid growing up? Did you know the military was in your future?
Yeah.
How'd it work out?
Well, when you're a kid, well, especially here, I grew up here. My dad was a Navy diver. Well, I say here, I grew up in Charleston, South Carolina. He worked for the shipyards. I lived out in the country, watched all of G.I. Joe and did all that stuff. And so I thought I was going to join the military. Eventually, when the shipyard closed, we moved out to San Diego. My dad became a government diver and then stayed in the reserves out there. And then we lived in Coronado, and I was on the swim team, water polo, kind of always, that's where Bud's training is. And so I always was like, maybe I'll join the Navy, be a SEAL or something. Just growing up diving with my dad and surfing and loving the water. And fast forward, I went through college, and I was kind of looking what to do. Interesting enough, I thought I was going to be like a youth pastor or something. And then after 9/11, I just got called in. I dropped out of college. I was at a maritime academy, saw that structure of kind of like the Navy. I was more attracted to like McHale's style Navy, where it's a little bit of structure, but then you can get away with things if you're, and so that's where I was called in. I thought I was going to go into SEALs. My dad told me about EOD. I looked at it, dropped out of college, and enlisted in the Navy, and never looked back, and joined Navy EOD. And here next month, April 15th, I hit 20 years in the service, and still currently right now, I'm fast forwarding my whole career. I've got to deploy everywhere, work with all groups, have great brothers in arms. I've loved being an EOD tech. I'm currently a senior chief master EOD tech. I'm currently stationed here in the Carolinas. I'm the Spec War recruit coordinator for South Carolina and North Carolina. And it gives me some flexibility. I get to work from home, work from the areas. I have guys, great group of guys working underneath me. It's kind of different being outside of the EOD community, but it allowed me to position myself to come to the Carolinas. We no longer have a MOB unit here, so everything's in Virginia or in San Diego or overseas. So it's kind of allowed me to come here, focus on the business, and kind of set up for retirement. It's kind of how I played that. But I count myself blessed, and I've loved being in Navy Special Operations as a Navy EOD tech, and the caliber of guys and gals. We have some females as well that I've worked with throughout my career. Has been phenomenal. And that's usually everyone jokes that, like, man, the military sucks the fun out of everything, from skydiving to shooting to diving, and so really you do it, you're like, oh, you have some good days, but it seems like what keeps you around is the caliber of brothers in arms, that those relationships that you have, that you spend more time with deployed and then at home and everything like that. You just love your community, and so I've definitely loved my community. It's been bittersweet transitioning, but Now I'm, I have a wife and I got 3 little kids. You probably could hear them running around earlier. I was like texting my wife, keep them quiet, so
It's all good, man.
so that's, for me, it's like when it's time, I'm coming up on 20, trying to work my way out. I can go, hey, it's time for the younger guys to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about the coffee company, having that new passion, that new hill to climb is what I look at, the coffee company. I look at transitioning from turning into my body armor and my skills, fighting back the darkness with that and trying to do it with a cup of coffee and make that positive impact to our coffee company and to our foundation. So
name of the company is OneNation Coffee. We're going to talk about why you started it, how you started, what you hope to do with it. And what I think is really cool in this foundation, guys, explosive ordnance disposal officer. That's what EOD stands for. You might remember, listeners, when we had Katie Hernandez on, she's an Army EOD, set the world record for running 1 mile in a full bomb suit.
Yep.
That was pretty cool. She's pretty badass.
Yep.
She's pretty badass. That's an understatement.
Yeah.
Where did you travel to? What did you blow up, and who'd you get to blow up stuff for along the way? What, into what you can tell us, I suppose.
Yeah. I was gonna say there's some stuff. Most stuff is just, I'll just keep it generic. Of course, Iraq, Afghanistan. I've been through both those countries and got to blow up both, obviously, IEDs, a ton of UXO and ordnance, just thousands of pounds of blowing all that stuff up, a lot of bunkers, just taking care of business. I mean, man, it's back, especially 2006 in Iraq, just blowing up some stuff, and that was great. Spent some time in Africa, taking care of munitions. Usually there, we did force protection dives in Djibouti, hanging out with the French down there, French Foreign Legion and French Marines. And we just a bunch of code hotel, like old ordnance, blowing up that. Mm-hmm. And then anytime we had, we just go out and do some demo days and blow a whole bunch of stuff out throughout Africa. Mainly in Africa was force protection and like ready response. And so we had some predators go down with some hellfires and taking care of just, you never know what was going to show up, and just do a bunch of demo and man, all throughout the Middle East. Some of the, I did some sexy cell deployments, which is like collecting items that we can exploit. And then we, our platoon, worked on collecting items for attribution for CENTCOM. So we got to travel around and do some really cool things with that. Worked with some great guys. Like I said, I just feel like I've had such a blessed career. Got to do a little bit of everything. Got to work with everyone, from obviously frogs, from ODA, Green Berets, Rangers, MARSOC, PJs, and even some CCT, like Gamma, even down to National Guard dudes that you're rolling around with, good country boys from Alabama, and so I don't know. I think being Navy EOD, like I don't know if I coined it, but I would always say it a lot. It's just like, I'd always tell my guys, we enable enablers, it's like kind of know our spot. Like, our job is this, let's clear the way so guys can take down the door and go in and do what they need to do and come in, and, we're up for anything. So we always adapt and overcome. Let's go and do it, and so, and and there's so many other brothers that have done so much more than I have. And I'd rather talk about a bunch of other brothers that have done, have sacrificed a lot more and done more things, but I just feel blessed, to be a senior chief, finishing up my career and ready to transition. I think a lot of stuff that transitions with this, and we can get into it with my story of starting the business with my childhood friend and one of the co-founders, Philip Lanise. He's from the law enforcement side. I think it's really, after all those deployments or late nights, is one, just drinking terrible coffee on deployment, and then you're doing more Rippets and other energy drinks instead of coffee because the coffee's so bad. And I think that was first and foremost is like, hey man, everyone likes coffee. Let's my Phil, he had a popcorn, he had it as a hobby, and we started it from his garage, and then we got to lease a spot from another veteran, here in Somerville, Brad and his son Richard. We got to lease, roast coffee out of that. But where we started was kind of like, where's coffee for guys like us?
Right.
Black Rifle was kind of coming on the scene, and love those guys. I'm not one, I'd rather just talk good things about people instead of bad things. And I can joke, especially being senior enlisted at the time, it's like everything you met best and the rap battles and those things are all cool, but I was just like, I'm more mature. I'm a family guy. So I was just kind of like, where's a coffee company for guys like us that are seasoned in our careers, that further along, kind of like, I was like in between, Black Rifle and Duck Dynasty, that like, hey, we're proud of who we are. We love to laugh and joke. We love to fool around and be part of our community, and so that was just kind of, and people that just love America, hence One Nation Coffee, we've taken from the Pledge of Allegiance, one nation under God, and so that was the big part. And then from there, we were able to develop some roast, and then right from the get-go, with guys like us, you always want a purpose behind something. Yep. And then with losing brothers in arms and buddies that didn't come home, you're just like, I always want to make sure that we stay grounded as a company, who we are, do the right thing. And it's always been the core of One Nation Coffee is to give part of our proceeds to some type of foundation. First couple of years, we gave it to random. Then for many years, we partnered with When Life Sucks Foundation until this last year, which those guys are great guys, suicide prevention, works with guys with TS, helping them, through hunting, fishing activities. Pat Ellswick, he's an amazing guy. They're always doing things. They're up out of Anderson, South Carolina. Mm-hmm. So we love those guys, but at the same time, we are like, man, we would love to kind of start our own foundation. And that's last summer, we got our own 501c3, for a One Nation Foundation. And we're all about trying to make that positive impact.
Yeah. As
a growing new foundation, is trying to help out veterans, first responders.
Hey, so why I understand why coffee from trying to solve this bit of a problem also feels natural. It also seems to me like military guys, you have such an ability to learn, to have to learn complex things, to learn processes, but then also to be kind of free to lead as you're able to go do that. How much did you have to learn? How much onboarding did you have to do? Because you can start a company, but you got to make sure it's good, right? Like you can't be sending out cups of sludge, right? So
no.
how much of that process, right? How much went into that?
Bro, Brian, you're like, I'm still learning today. I didn't get you. I had another business partner, Neil Johnson. He was new. He was a nuke on submarines for multiple years. Got out, got his degree. He came in and became a partner with us about 2 years ago, and really helped give us more structure. I've had to work at everything that I'm like a hands-on type of guy, like you're saying. Mm-hmm. So like the business-minded side of it, him and this other guy, Tyler, coming on board, helping us grow our business and helping. I learn every day. I always say I'm drinking from the fire hose every day, and there's still so much. I don't know if I was talking to another business owner, and it's kind of hard whenever you say, my little girl just bumped her head watching me on the camera. So, but I like when you look back 5 years ago, and if I knew now what I knew 5 years ago, you'd be like, dang, it's pretty dang intimidating to start a business. And you have that sense come from the military, special operations, like that can do, let's just get in there and crush it, and it's just like, and you're doing that, but there's so much to catch up to whenever, after doing 20 years, special operations, EOD, that that doesn't translate into owning a business. It just gives you the confidence that, hey, I've done this, I can go do anything else. But you still have to learn, and then everything from QuickBooks to budget sheets,
just all that stuff, right? All that other, making coffee's fun. Like we're gonna make
exactly
all the other stuff. Yeah.
Well, and that's I've heard that saying is like you're an entrepreneur for about 5 minutes, then you're a business owner for the term of your business, and you're just like, geez. And that's where it is. It's like, hey, I can build this. I'm a great carpenter, or hey, well, let's do this, and yeah, you can do that. But the whole backside of a business is pretty hard, to say the least. I'm like starting a new career. Like I was winding down my Navy EOD career, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to retire. And now it's like, man, I don't know what I just got myself into. This is a lot harder, and I'm older. I'm 43. So, but what drives you is the challenge of it.
Mm-hmm.
Is now my new partners in business, and I'm not driven by money. I want to be successful to have that positive impact. I definitely know by the grace of God, I am alive today. And I said, that didn't come home. You can see their faces. I still want to have that purpose, not only for me and my family and pass that on, but I want to make it count for those guys that didn't, because it's I'm sure, and can feel it, where you can see still there's smiles and personalities, and just anyone else that has sacrificed for our great country. It's just hey, I want to be successful for that. I want to make a difference, and of course grow. It is a challenge. I think we guys like us always have to be working or doing something like that, and bringing great people around us. And so I think that really what drives me. But what drives me is to make a good cup of coffee and make that positive impact. So,
well, clearly, right? You're in the beginning stages of launching this cool company, while at the same time saying we got to have a foundation arm. Most people would be like, well, we got to start a company and we're going to X this and profits. Clearly you're service driven in how you want to do that, because otherwise you wouldn't have a foundation that exists to help veterans, active duty military, and first responders and their families, where you guys talk about wanting to, quote, foster relationships with other nonprofits that serve our veteran and first responder communities. These partnerships allow us to support worthy projects and programs to avoid duplication of services and unnecessary competitions for funding. So it seems like a great way to do it. This bond, this link between the military, first responders, your partners that help you start this thing. How important was that to launch this effort?
Oh, yes. I'm glad that you framed it in that sense, because as I speak, obviously I have my story, but by no means do I want to take the credit. Like I said, it's my partners, the initial years, with Philip roasting and doing everything that he was doing for the company. And then when Neil came on, just his mind, he's a genius when it comes to setting up, and he has the forward sight of looking and doing. And he's the one who really was like, hey, we should just do our own foundation. And we're like, you think? He's like, yeah,
sure,
do it. So, and it's just, we really do have a great group of guys, and we're involved with a lot of other great foundations as well. And so, and that's where we're not afraid to promote other foundations and do anything. 'Cause how I look at it is that we're not in competition. We should be overlapping like a set of armor, and because
lock shields, let's go.
Yeah, there's a lot of channels, a lot of swim lanes, and that's where we like to come alongside other groups, especially starting up, seeing what we can do and go, hey, you guys need some service, or do you need some funding? How do we help? Do you need some, what can we do? Let's just jump in and help solve this event, or help you guys here or there. Just doing something, in my mind, is like what I do, and then kind of figure it out as you go along, and that's what we're about.
The website's OneNationCoffee.com. Go buy some coffee from them. They've got your 6 a.m. Use the code PUT6. John's hooking you guys up, saving 10%. Go buy some coffee. And while you're there, dude, give a donation to the foundation as well, so they can help these worthy causes. John, for you, a perfect cup of coffee, right? What's it taste like? What's the perfect cup of coffee for you like?
perfect cup of coffee. I love our dark roast, and it's called Moab, Mother of All Blends. It's a blended coffee.
Like
But
Moab, MOAB.
Yep.
Yeah,
Moab,
beautiful.
Mother of All Blends, and so we a lot of people don't know the darker you go, you actually lose that caffeine. So we take our Colombian Arabica and we blend it with Robusta, Vietnamese bean that naturally has a higher concentration of caffeine. And what we found is kind of smooths it out and takes away the bitterness. So I usually like it just black, maybe with some coconut butter in it. Or in the weekends, whenever I can lay around. Well, usually there's sports for kids and stuff, but I'm making my wife some. She usually likes a little whipped cream, so every once in a while I put some whipped cream in it. But normally it's just so smooth, and it like just that hotness. I like it hot no matter what. I don't know, it's that comfort, especially in the morning.
Dude, I love a hot cup of coffee after a long run. Yeah, after a burner workout.
Yeah.
Something about that hot cup of coffee, it's become part of my routine, right? I'm up at 4:30 out with the F3 guys, whether we're doing a boot camp workout or if I got a long run, and I'm always looking for a cup of coffee afterward and a good one too. We'll drink parking lot coffee if we have to, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the best. Whenever you have like your Yeti or whatever cup sitting in your truck.
Oh yeah.
And then when you come in from working out or doing, like you said, a workout, and you open up your truck door and you get in, you can smell the coffee like in the truck, and it's not scalding hot by then, but it's just warm, and you're just like, yes, that was I earned that workout, and this is so good right now. So
check this out, man.
Sip on a little bit on the way to workout, and then you finish it off at the end of the workout. So
we're in such a rush for so many things, right? We expect everything so fast, go through the drive-through, get everything. I think it's okay if a good cup of coffee takes a little time too. Yeah. I think it's worth settling into. It seems like you guys have found just incredible sort of strength of purpose. And one thing that has been so motivating for me, and feel so blessed to host these conversations, but talk to guys like Lowell or you or Steve Gonzalez, who's now sort of motivating the second half of his life through this Force Blue Foundation, literally saving the oceans. He's a former SEAL. Is seeing the second half, the second half of your journey, 20 years strong, man, in the Navy, doing incredible things on EOD teams, but to see guys and gals getting unlocked in the second half of sort of phase two, right? Career number 2, it's motivating. I'm even like listening to you. I'm like, man, we should start a foundation here where we can get our paid production clients to pay extra money to give into a foundation where we can then gift nonprofits or organizations services to be able to do that, right? There's a lot that can be done in that space.
Yeah, there is, but like foundation space, as we've found, my wife, I've been saying all my partners' names. My wife will shoot me if I don't recognize her.
We don't need that.
Yeah, nope. So she's not only she's the mother of my 3 kids. She was a nurse before we met, and she promised she would never marry a service member. So made a break that promise. But she took up the challenge, and when we were like setting up this foundation, we put her in charge of it, and she only has a nursing background, so same thing. We're learning this,
figure out
how to run a foundation. And I was downtown with her at a business center that's set up for nonprofits. They can have a shared space, and it's an awesome thing that they're doing. But she's there networking, growing this business, because the foundation is the business, and you're looking and you're trying to develop it, and we have a good group of people that we're working with as well, but she's taking it on board, and learning, how to establish a foundation and do it right. Because we want to operate in the light. We want to do, we don't want to, it's always unfortunate when you have some bad players in the game, because it takes away from the people that, are really trying to, dedicate their lives to make serve those that have served and whatnot. And obviously our space is with veteran and first responders and their families, and just kind of things that are associated out there. But there's a lot of other great foundations out there, and it's cool working with alongside them, because you really do meet great people and everything out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Michelle, she's a good woman. So
that's good. I love it, man. But it's been I've had a great time, man, getting to know you, hear your story, right? What you could tell us about the military stuff, which is cool. And man, I'm just so thrilled for what the last 20 years have been, that you can see, right, that retirement close, and that you're fired up and passionate about what this next phase look like, and starting a company that's purpose driven, that's service driven, community impact driven. Man, just there's a reason why Lowell said, I got a guy for you. I got a guy.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
No, like I said, he's a good dude, and I appreciate you coming on the show. And I don't know how long your shows usually last. I don't know if we're getting to the threshold, but I love sharing my story, and I'm a big encourager. So I guess, anyone out there that's listening, that's military, or, or not even military or whatever, and you get, if you're thinking like, I don't know, I say, give it a whirl. Ignorance is bliss in a sense. So you get in there and start it, and just, don't give up, keep learning, keep networking, and figure it out. I mean, look at the examples. Our Ukrainian brothers, what are they doing? They're rolling back. People say you can't stop something with a rifle or a missile or something.
They're figuring it out.
They're figuring it out. So that's awesome. And
you know why too? Because John, they're motivated by love for their sovereign land, right? Yep. The other guy's coming in as a bully, right? And the bully might be bigger. He might have more stuff, but you got to remember the scrappiness and the love and the heart. And I think, you mentioned something before, and you probably can't comment on it too much, but you talked about getting to serve as an EOD guy with all those different units. You saw special operators from every branch. You got to see SEALs, and you got to see CCTs and Green Berets, and you got to see them all, right? You got to see multiple countries interacting with each other in those moments. I think my gut would tell me, and I know my dad has talked about this a lot in service with NATO and as a fighter pilot, what you're seeing unfold in Ukraine is because that big bully isn't motivated by the way in which we are with our ideals in America. Yeah. Same way with the Ukrainians. And they also don't have the sophistication and just the incredible resources that are available. And they can't just come in and push this little country around. They're able to do some things, but it's not overwhelming, decisive victory. Yeah,
exactly. And, and like you said, I'm not going to still be in, active duty and everything. Like, I'm just saying I love the tenacity, and the hard work, because really they're digging in their feet and they're not giving up, and I think that's their country. And, and so you can take it to the extreme like that with your business or your family, whatever it is, you have that passion behind that. And you just go after it, and so, because at the end of the day, this is, I'm finishing up my career. This is what I want to build this career to sustain my family and who I am, and so that's for me, like I there's no other choices for me. Yeah. So just like when I enlisted to go EOD, I was like, there's no really other choice. That's what I want to do, and so with this, we got one, we'll continue to grow, make a difference. And like I said, that's what I want to do, is be that positive impact, help push back the darkness, one cup of coffee at a time, or a word of encouragement, whatever we can do. I think that's like, you have a platform, you have a voice, and you use the resources that you have. You have a mic and a camera, and we're doing online. And then hopefully from this conversation, it's for a purpose, is to, one, show obviously us, but the bigger purpose is to encourage other people out there, no matter what type of fire you're going through or what situation you're in. One, there's hope. There's always a way through it. So dig down and keep moving forward. So,
and maybe burn the boats every now and then if you have to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. So that's what you have to do sometimes. So
I love it, man. Great. Hey, let's do this again sometime.
Yeah.
All right, let's check in, man. Fans for Life, for what you guys are doing. Their website is OneNationCoffee.com. And John graciously hooking you guys up with a 10% discount code PUT, the number 6, PUT6, save 10% over at their website. Buy some coffee, donate to the foundation, and good things are happening. Brother, it's been great to get to know you, man. Talk to you.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
He's John Richards. He's from One Nation Coffee. I'm Brian Jodas, and this has been Pick Up the 6 podcast.